Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn. I'm Lauren Smith with the International Franchise Association, and we have a great 30 minutes lined up for you. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that we're recording today's webinar and will make it available later this evening on community.franchise.org. If you have any questions for today's speaker, please add them to the chat box and they'll be addressed toward the end. Today's topic is From Likes to Sales, the power of local social for your franchise, and it is brought to us by Uberall. Here to provide today's discussion is Jennifer Stevenson, VP of Product Marketing and Strategy at Uberall. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you to Uberall for sponsoring today's Lunch and Learn. I'll go ahead and turn things over to you, Jennifer.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lauren, and thanks, everyone. Hi, I'm Jennifer Stevenson. I'm excited to spend 30 minutes with you. So my role at Uberall is really to keep an eye on trends and best practices for marketers, right, and for franchise businesses. And so today I'm just going to give you some insight on what I'm seeing as, sort of top trends and tricks and best practices out there that franchise brands should really be looking at to leverage for ensuring that you're empowering franchisees to drive local sales without adding costs, right, to your marketing budget. So let's jump in and talk a little bit more about that. We're going to have a survey to start, which, oh, sorry, this is me. Hi. We're going to have a survey to start, but I want to just do a baseline and see where everyone is at today as far as their local marketing when it comes to social. So can you just think about how do you go to market today as a franchise brand? Are you corporate control, meaning you have one message to many, right? Corporate owns the message. In this case, it's crumble cookies. And everyone gets the same message regardless of market location, right? Then there's corporate owned, but with some light localization, right? So the corporate marketing team owns the message, the content, the assets, and pushes it out with some dynamic fields in social posts and ads that include maybe like this example, West McKinney, right, for Pinch a Penny spas. So, field managers might be doing this, but it has some localization. And then there is the completely enabled localized content, right? Where you get really community-based content on social about, volleyball teams you're sponsoring, special events you're doing in the local community. And these are campaigns that, franchise owners or store managers could be doing on the brand's behalf to really sort of amplify the message out there. And then there are those types of franchise that allow a lot of autonomy to their franchise owners. In this case, Farmers Insurance and the agents are really allowed to do their own marketing independent of the larger brand. They have certain assets, obviously, to stay on brand, but and templates, but for the most part, they do it all on their own. So we're going to just take a moment. We've sort of laid out the 4 different scenarios, and we want to know, Lauren's going to do a survey. And so if you could just take a second and say how you do marketing today, and then we'll see what the results are. Oh, and there's a typo here. That's so terrible as a marketer. It's going to drive me nuts, so I'm going to have to not look at it. Results is not spelled that way. All right, we'll just give you another minute to fill that out. Lauren, how are we doing on the survey? All right, so it's kind of across the board. We have a lot of corporate lightly localized and franchise manage. That's really cool. Okay, let's jump in and talk a little bit more about some of the trends we're seeing today. All right, so the results that we just saw are pretty in line with what we have seen globally. So we recently did a survey of hundreds of franchise businesses, really looking at how you're going to market, how you're leveraging social. And most brands have, sort of national Facebook, Instagram pages, right? Less are doing local social pages and social ads. So it's about, half, 75 to, 50% more or less. So really quickly before we jump in, I wanted to just talk through, like, that's pretty good, right? Like, our survey results that we have here, pretty in line with what we're seeing globally. It's also like, you're doing a pretty good job of managing local message. But the thing is that today, right, with the way that we are seeing changes to cookies and retargeting, the algorithm that's continually changing on the different social platforms, it's really hard to stand out by doing just organic social. We know that adding paid and organic together can really boost a brand and leverage the local advantage, right? So we want to just use a quick case study, because it's always really good to see what's working, right? And so when you look at, this is a hair and nail salon. It's a chain in the UK. And if you look at what's working for them, right, they're constantly doing the best practices on social posting. They post multiple times a week with different trends and things going on. And they get, low-level response, 6 likes. It's really dependent on who is already following them and if that is going to show up in the feed on someone's Instagram account, right? And versus the Instagram ads, right? And so here you see they ran a series of ads in the feed as well as in stories. And they were saying, hey, come in today, right now, get your hair done, get your nails done, book an appointment. And this was incredibly successful in driving local bookings and appointments. And they did this through Instagram targeting that was very specific to the locations that were in the different cities. And so what they found is that they received almost 20% more bookings from just doing a straight ad within the feed or within social, and saying it's tied to the location where you're at, where you happen to be with your phone, and that there's an immediate need that we're tapping into of like, check out your nails, maybe it's time to get them done. And this ad was incredibly important. And I think that that's one of the things that we want to keep in mind and really think through when we as marketers are talking about how we leverage our franchise network, because this is really how you empower local franchise owners to stand out. And this could be, book a pizza to be delivered. It can be, book an appointment with a financial consultant, right? There's so many different use cases here that make sense for local businesses to stand out, that will be on brand, and be in line. And corporate marketing can't do this level of advertising without a lot of assistance. So how do we see, it today? We see that national organic, right, like we're talking about with, the changes in cookie retargeting, it's becoming very difficult to follow people around on their phones unless they're sort of opting in. And social is the best place where they've already opted in to get local messages. They've actually said, I want a local message. I want things that are relevant to me. I want to find new ways of doing business locally, as well as new products. And there's no better opportunity than to be presented in the feed today in Instagram and Facebook, right? So we know that it works. And just talking through what the difference is, from our survey, we saw that many of you are already doing this today. You already have that local message, right? We understand that for those that aren't, local, organic, and local paid together is really the winning combination. That's what we're seeing today that's really breaking through, that's able to drive that hyper-targeted, hyper-localized, very customized message and deliver those high intent purchases and consumers into either buying online from you, having it fulfilled locally, coming into the store. There's a huge advantage that you have today, right? And so we know that Facebook and Instagram are the leading channels for franchise businesses. YouTube, WhatsApp, also important, but you can't own the message as well. And you can't target as well through those channels, right? So we really recommend Facebook and Instagram. And we also know that the way that users, and particularly, when you're talking about Gen Z, the way that they find products today isn't the same as it was for us when we were growing up. And so they really look to having and discovering brands in their feed. And many advertisers will say, well, you can just do that at the national level, but you can't get that really tied in local content that you need to be authentic to the Gen Z and young millennial crew. They smell, corporate look and feel a mile away. It's all about influencer content. It's all about authentic content, right? And so you want to even think about repurposing some of that content that you're seeing out there when, local consumers are coming in and trying, things, having events. Use that, get the permission to reshare. If they've posted it online, it's public to reshare, right? And acknowledge them, thank them for, hey, we see you shouting out and using our brand on social. We're going to reshare it, whether that's on Twitter or for Facebook. You can really amplify messages that are happening out there and stay aware and look very in the moment, very responsive, and have that real-time engagement that you really need today. So just to recap, here's why local really matters. And that level of personalization and community involvement will just catapult your brand. And you can do this as a franchise brand without really, it's really using what you have to your advantage. This is something that brick and mortars have an advantage over online businesses, right? There's a reason why Amazon bought Whole Foods. It's really that buy and return. It is a local point where people can bring product back. Then you also get them into the store to buy more product, right? It is really working for Amazon because they knew being online only today, they don't have that convenience factor. Consumers are just, they've shouted loud and clear, they don't want to box up returns. They don't want to have to wait for a week to get their purchases, right? They've been through the e-commerce thing, and yes, they might want to purchase it online or pick it up in store. We went through a lot of change during COVID, where we were able to buy things in different ways, and more convenient ways. And what we discovered is that we can own wallet share as franchise brands and really, really compete with online businesses to ensure that we stand out and say, hey, wouldn't you rather, try this dress on? Order it online. Just come in. You don't have to pay for it. Try it on. We can run very, very specific offers, And one of the things that we want to talk a little bit about is that when we see franchise brands not leveraging and empowering their franchise network, they're really at a disadvantage. But what I hear time and time again is that the reason that it's not happening is because there's fear about losing brand control and losing the ability to ensure that franchise owners are on brand. They're scared that they're going to open this Pandora's box. There won't be any capability to control what's being said, and that could be a PR disaster, right? So I think we all understand that with power comes great responsibility, right? The Spider-Man quote. And so we know that it's incredibly important to give franchise businesses the tools to scale with those guardrails in place and ensure that you can have that hyper local targeted messaging, whether on organic, paid, or social, and then collaborate and empower the franchise. So it's really the corporate and franchise owners working together to come up with that message and ensure that the franchise has the assets they need. Why this matters so much is that today what we see is not working, again, is that one-to-many message. When you can really localize it and target, you get 2 to 3 times more conversion. And it's significant. We've been tracking this. We know that it works. This is where you're leveraging your locations to stand out. You're delivering greater value to franchise owners, and it's easier to track and show the ROI, the return on ad spend, and the flexibility that you have to share the cost, have franchise owners pay for it themselves, depending on the setup, the business arrangement. And having that flexibility to do it all on your own is incredibly important, because that's the way that you respond to these local trends. Let's talk a little bit about Topper's Pizza. So Topper's Pizza is a great client, and they have an incredible local game. I hope they're on the call today, because they're so fun. They're such a great marketing team. But here's the thing, is that they are continually allowing their franchise owners and their regional field marketers to come up with these incredible campaigns that they run and plan out to really capitalize and amplify the brand locally. So they come up with campaigns that 25 times ROI, right? We're talking big numbers here. And I'm just going to take a moment to show some of their work, right? They are so creative in coming up with very local campaigns using their field marketing team, working with their franchise owners to get specific offers that are targeted depending on the time of day, or the day, like Taco Tuesday, but also, like, you'll see like specific seasonal opportunities. They have one that's just based in Denver on 4/20 that's around, hey, it's a pizza company, right? Hey, we know it's 4/20. You might be picking up something at the dispensary on 4/20. Also make sure that you package that with a pizza. And so that level of advertising at the community can be planned out in that sort of hybrid way, where it's really the franchise owners working with the local field marketers to come up with very on-brand campaigns, but very localized. And in this case, seasonal, whether that's, graduation or 4/20, like I was saying. And really that's only specific maybe to Denver or, LA or Seattle. But it is incredibly powerful, because people see this and they think, oh, they're talking to me. I really believe that this brand understands what I care about. They're authentic, they're fun, and you break through that way. So I think it's just a really good case study in how to have that hybrid approach, where it isn't just corporate pushing one message, and it isn't necessarily giving complete brand control. It's using the assets and that are on brand to stand out and really have that collaboration between corporate and franchise owners. So really quickly, we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that are coming out and some of the things that I'm seeing that are going to impact franchise brands. And so one of the things that we are working on is, and you'd have to be living under a rock not to have heard about, ChatGPT, and hopefully you're using it because it's incredibly powerful. But one of the things we're doing is we're starting to incorporate AI into a lot of the things that we do on our platform. And this isn't meant as a pitch on our platform. It's really just meant as an example to show you what you can do with AI. So whether you do this through our platform, someone else's, or you do it on your own, start using ChatGPT, start using the AI capabilities because they're incredible. And they are literally going to change the way we're doing business, right? A lot of people hear the buzz and they think, is there a there there? Well, there's a there there. When it comes to ChatGPT and AI, it will change the way we do business. And so one of the things we're doing at Uberall is we're really harnessing ChatGPT to help our customers better respond to reviews and also, create content, respond to conversations, and we'll get into that in a second. But having this like unified inbox where everything comes together, and you can allow franchise owners, or you can allow the corporate team or the field team to respond to reviews as they come up. So often it's going to be the franchise owner or store manager that really understands local questions, right? Well, AI can also assist with that because we're busy and not everyone is looking at the feeds that come in through social, through Instagram, through Facebook, through Google, or now through Apple Maps. And so really a lot of things have to come together to make sure that you're on top of all the questions that are coming through locally and that you have the knowledge, right? So what this does is it takes information from your stored information. So that's really important. Whenever you're dealing with ChatGPT, ensure whether it's you or a platform that you're working with, ensure that the information isn't just crowdsourced, right? You don't want the internet responding to questions about how many calories are in a particular salad or your opening and closing hours, right? You want to make sure that that's accurate information that's not crowdsourced from the internet. Because God knows you don't want to unleash that in your response to any questions that are coming in. So making sure that you're using a product that can scale responses for you is incredibly important. And so that's one of the things that we're really working on and really excited about is being able to harness AI. And these AI bots are incredible. They really have personalities. And so our engineering team and product team really look through all the different types of AI that there is out there and ensure that they're using the right AI for the right response. So, ChatGPT can be a little bit salty in its response, right? Like it may be better to do different types of AI for certain types of responding. So they're constantly looking at that. And it's really exciting to see. So one of the things to also keep in mind when it comes to reviews specifically is that when you do incorporate AI into responding to reviews, you have to be careful on certain platforms like Google. They will flag if they think that it is AI bot generated. And so one of the things with ChatGPT, it's quite sophisticated. But what we do at Uberall is we always give either the franchise owner, store manager, or corporate brand, field marketer, the ability to look and then click the button and say, yeah, that's the right response. But it's incredibly efficient and a time saver, right? So you can do a lot more with less when it comes to responding to reviews. And why that's so important for those that maybe aren't up to speed so much on reviews is that if you want to be found on Google, there are a number of signals that help you be found in the top 3 results. It's called the map pack, or you know, 3-pack. And so one of the biggest ones is ensuring that your review response is timely, that you respond to as many reviews as you can. All reviews is the best, because what that shows Google is that you are an active participant with local consumers when they ask questions. And so it's incredibly important that you ensure that you're responding to reviews quickly, because then you'll be more recommended when someone searches for pizza near me. This is a pizza company, has great reviews, right? And also it responds to the reviews it gets in a timely way. It cares about its consumers, and we're going to recommend it. So ChatGPT can really help with that, to help keep up with all the reviews that come in on all the different platforms out there. And having one integrated inbox to review all of that helps, you know. So these are just ways that we're able to scale for franchise businesses that have hundreds or maybe even thousands of locations, to stay on top of review generation. Review response. And also we're looking at review generation, I was going to say as well, and have that capability where you can also look at who's come in and then instantly send out emails or text messages to say, hey, will you give us a review? Also incredibly important. So let's talk a little bit about the commerce piece of AI, because that is where I think, you know, we are, again, as franchise brands, not really leveraging technology and our network of franchise businesses to respond to what comes in. So a lot of brands are, you know, so fearful of turning on Google, right, and messaging or Facebook messaging, because they just don't think that they can handle all the local questions that might come in, and they want it diverted to you know, just a central source. And I'm not going to get involved in the politics of do you or do you not. I just know that local consumers have a high intent questions. When they ask a question over Google or over Facebook Messenger that's directed to a local business, it's because they have an intention to go there, to purchase something, to make a decision, you know, and it's in the moment. So we actually have created a chatbot that's based on Google. If it's on Google, it's ChatGPT and some other AI, depending on which channel it's on, you know, on messages or others, WhatsApp, etc. And you can have this AI bot answer about 90% of the questions that come in. So that's 24/7 response to about 90% of the questions that then could be, you know, directed to purchase, you know. So then it's not just, do you have these shoes in stock? It's, yes, we have these shoes in stock. And would you like me to order that for you and have it shipped to you? Would you like to come into the store and try them on? Would you like to have them waiting for you? Right? So it is essentially applying an AI tool to create these revenue streams while you sleep, literally, and allows you, again, to leverage the power of a franchise network, these locations, to ensure that local customers are being taken care of, whether that's in person or online, right? And that hybrid approach to it, this is where AI can really break through and provide a lot of value. So that is it. We do, if anyone is curious, we have a wait list to try this out yourself when we're talking about what we call the digital revenue assistant and AI-powered chat. So we have a link in here which will be sent out afterwards. You're welcome to get on the list. We'd love to start working with you and show you what it can do. But with that, I want to make sure we have time for questions, because it's been fun going over all the trends and things that I'm seeing, and really thinking about how to best support you guys and just owning your local. Yeah, Lauren.
Thanks, Jennifer. It doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat. We'll maybe just give everyone another minute or so.
Well, I love that we're right on time,
Yeah.
Lauren. I think we did something right there.
Exactly. Well, if any questions come in afterward, where can they reach you?
Oh, right here at my email address. Thank you, you guys. Anytime, any questions you have, love to keep the conversation going. Always available.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This was excellent content. We really do appreciate it. Again, this webinar was recorded, and along with the presentation deck will appear on our website early this evening. You'll be able to find that at community.franchise.org. Thank you very much again to Jennifer and the Uberall team. And again, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day and stay safe and healthy. Bye.
Bye, everyone.